Ever dreamt of kicking back on the beach, sipping a cool drink, while your rental properties just rake in the cash? That's the dream, right? The ultimate passive income. Well, I'm here to tell you what nobody else does about that dream. It's not quite the hands-off money machine everyone makes it out to be. Stick around, because I'm about to pull back the curtain on the real world of being a landlord. And trust me, it's not all sunshine and rent checks. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The first and biggest myth we need to bust is the idea of passive. Owning a rental property is a business. It's an active job, not a passive investment like stocks where you just sit and watch. Your property is a physical asset with real-world problems, and at the center of it all are your tenants. The people living in your property are your customers, and managing them can be a full-time job in itself. Let's talk about tenants, because they are the make-or-break factor in your rental journey. The dream tenant pays rent on time, every time, keeps the place spotless, and only calls you to say how wonderful everything is. In reality, it can be a mixed bag. You might get a fantastic tenant for years, and that's amazing. But you also might deal with tenants who are consistently late with rent. Chasing down payments every month is stressful, awkward, and time-consuming. It's not just a matter of sending a polite reminder. It can involve difficult conversations, formal notices, and a lot of emotional energy. Then there are the tenants who cause damage beyond normal wear and tear. I'm talking about big, costly messes. Unauthorized pets that ruin carpets, parties that leave holes in the walls, or just a general lack of care that requires a massive overhaul when they move out. The security deposit might cover some of it, but significant damage can easily exceed that amount, leaving you to foot the bill or take them to small claims court, which is another headache entirely. And that brings us to the worst case scenario: eviction. This is the part of being a landlord that absolutely nobody enjoys. Evicting a tenant is a long, expensive, and legally complicated process. Each state and city has its own very specific laws protecting tenants, and you have to follow them to the letter. One wrong move, one missed deadline on a notice, and you could have your case thrown out, sending you right back to square one, all while you're not receiving any rent. The legal fees, court costs, and lost income during this period can be financially devastating. It's a brutal reality that can turn your dream investment into a nightmare. Now, let's move on to the property itself. Your house or apartment is not a static object. It's constantly aging and breaking down. This is where the hidden costs really start to pile up. You've probably budgeted for a mortgage, taxes, and insurance. But have you budgeted for the midnight call about a burst pipe flooding the bathroom, or the air conditioner dying in the middle of a heat wave? These aren't just minor inconveniences. They are emergencies that require immediate and often expensive attention. Maintenance is a constant. It's not just the big stuff. It's the leaky faucet, the running toilet, the flickering light fixture, the clogged drain. Each of these requires your time and money. You either have to learn to be a handyman yourself, spending your weekends fixing things, or you have to have a network of reliable and reasonably priced plumbers, electricians, and contractors on speed dial. And let me tell you, finding good help isn't always easy or cheap. Then there are the big ticket items, the capital expenditures that you have to plan for. A roof doesn't last forever. Neither does an HVAC system, a water heater, or your appliances. These items have a lifespan, and when they reach the end of it, you're looking at thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars in replacement costs. A common rule of thumb is to set aside 1% of the property's value each year for maintenance. So for a $300,000 house, that's $3,000 a year, or $250 a month, that you need to be putting into a separate savings account just for repairs. This eats directly into your passive income. Another hidden drain on your profits is vacancy. Your property isn't going to be occupied 100% of the time. There will be gaps between tenants. Every month your property sits empty. You are still paying the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and utilities. You're not making any money. You're losing it. A good rule of thumb is to budget for about 5 to 10% vacancy rate, meaning you should assume you'll only be collecting rent for about 11 months out of the year. When a tenant moves out, you also have costs for cleaning, painting, marketing the property, and screening new applicants. This turnover process is both time-consuming and expensive. Now, let's talk about the legal and administrative side of things. Being a landlord means you are swimming in a sea of laws and regulations. You need to understand fair housing laws, lease agreements, security deposit rules, eviction procedures, and local building codes. Making a mistake can land you in serious legal trouble. For example, discriminating against a potential tenant, even unintentionally, can result in massive fines. Your lease agreement needs to be ironclad to protect you, which often means hiring a lawyer to draft or review it. This is another professional you need on your team. So, after hearing all this, you might be thinking, this sounds awful. Why would anyone want to be a landlord? And that's a fair question. But I'm not here to scare you away from real estate investing entirely. I'm here to give you a realistic picture so you can go in with your eyes wide open and be prepared for the challenges. So, what's the solution? How do you make rental property investing work without losing your mind? First, education is key. Before you even buy a property, you need to learn everything you can about being a landlord in your specific area. Read books, take courses, join local landlord associations. Know the laws inside and out. Second, you absolutely must screen your tenants thoroughly. Don't just take the first person who shows up with cash. Run background checks, credit checks, verify their income, and call their previous landlords. A little bit of due diligence on the front end can save you from a world of pain down the road. A great tenant is your most valuable asset. Third, build your team. You need a great real estate agent who understands investors, a lawyer who specializes in landlord-tenant law, and a list of reliable contractors. Don't wait for an emergency to find a good plumber. Have their numbers ready to go. Fourth, and this is a big one, consider hiring a property manager. Yes, they take a cut of your monthly rent, typically around 8 to 12%. But a good property manager handles everything we've talked about. They find and screen tenants, collect rent, handle maintenance calls, and deal with the legal complexities of evictions if necessary. They are the buffer between you and the day-to-day hassles. For many people, this is what turns an active, stressful job back into a more passive investment. The cost of a property manager can be well worth the peace of mind and freedom it buys you. Finally, always have cash reserves. Things will go wrong. You will have unexpected expenses. Having a healthy emergency fund dedicated to your rental property is not optional. It is essential. This fund will cover vacancies, major repairs, and any other surprises that come your way without forcing you into debt or a financial crisis. So, is rental income truly passive? In its purest form, absolutely not. It's a business that requires your time, effort, and a stomach for risk. But if you go in prepared, if you educate yourself, build a great team, screen tenants diligently, and manage your finances wisely, it can still be an incredibly powerful way to build long-term wealth. The dream isn't a lie, it's just incomplete. The reality is a lot more work, but for those who are prepared, the rewards can be well worth it. Thanks for watching. I hope this gave you a more realistic view of what it takes to be a landlord. If you found this helpful, give this video a like and subscribe for more real talk about real estate and personal finance. Let me know your own landlord horror stories or success stories in the comments below. See ya next time.